Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, as you guys can tell by the title, I'm going to be talking about 10 things that scared me as a kid. Now, this is not an original video whatsoever. I'm sure that a lot of people have done this video, but as far as I know, I got the idea from Halloween Happy, and I'll have her channel and the video. I'll have her video linked down below because I just thought it was an interesting idea. I thought it was cool, and so I decided to do it. I'm just going to jump right into it. I have a notepad where I wrote things down, so if I'm looking down, I'm looking at this. So the way that I organized this list was kind of like, I was thinking mentally of like the childhood stages I've been through, and the reason why this is number one is because this is one of the very first things that has ever scared me, and the first thing that scared me was Pennywise. Yes, Pennywise from It scared the living crap out of me. I remember when I first saw it, I was probably like 4 or 5 years old, and I didn't want to watch it, but my mom is like a crazy scary movie buff, and I'm pretty sure I was watching it with her, and probably my cousin, I'm not really sure, but I remember watching it, and I remember being absolutely terrified, and to top it all off, I remember, like, they would, like, my family was so mean to me, guys, like, they used to make fun of me, they used to literally taunt me and torture me with Pennywise. They would, like, say that, like, they all float quote all the time. But yeah, that is definitely number one on my list. So the second thing on my list is a cemetery, and just for the sake of privacy, I'm not going to give you the name because it's, like, probably 45 minutes away from my house. But in the area, like, in the Chicago area, it is, like, a pretty popular cemetery. And this cemetery scares the shit out of me. And it's funny because I'm not usually afraid of cemeteries. I actually love cemeteries. I actually hang out in cemeteries. How many times am I going to say cemetery? I hang out in cemeteries a lot, so that's not where this is going. This particular one scares the crap out of me because I remember when I was probably 6 or 7, I was in the car with my dad and my cousin, and I think my mom was in the car, I'm not really sure. And we were driving somewhere, and they were talking like about something that happened, and like to me it was a story. I didn't know if it was true or not until later on in life when it was confirmed. But they were telling me like how one time when my dad, like before I was born, I guess, but like they went out to that cemetery just to be like weird. So you know the gates at the cemetery and like how they usually have like those black bar things? I don't really know what they're called. Those things, my dad said that there was like handprints like molded into the bars, which was really scary and really weird to him. And he described it as maybe like, you know, your 4 fingers, like just like molded into the bars. And I never believed it. I thought that was crazy. I'm like, that's impossible. Like, how the hell? But then, turns out it's true. I went there and I visited probably a couple years later, and I saw them for myself. I saw the 2 sets, but they're not like this. One set is up here, and the other set's like down here. So it's like weird. It's like somebody was trying to rip their way out, but it was so weird. And because of that, I'm terrified of that cemetery because there is some spooky-ish going on in there, and yeah, I ain't about it, so. So the third one is kind of funny, and I don't really get scared of it anymore. I actually really adore this movie, but when I was a kid, it really did scare the living shit out of me, and that's Don't Look Under the Bed. It was a Disney movie, like, back in the 90s, and it was, like, essentially about, like, a boogeyman, I think. I don't even really remember the premise, but I'm gonna be watching it for this Halloween because, yeah. That movie scared me, and I honestly think it was just the guy, like, the character of the boogeyman that scared me, and, like, every scene he would come out of the bed, like, from underneath the bed, that would be literally terrifying, because, first of all, I've always been scared of, like, sleeping on high-rise beds. I know that's weird, and that's not on the list, it should be, but I'm scared for that reason, that I'm going to look under my bed and there's going to be someone under there, and usually in my mind it's the boogeyman. So yeah, that really scared me. So the fourth thing that scared me is street lights. And this sounds kind of funny, but as a kid, as I've been talking about my family, I have been watching a lot of scary movies. Like, that was kind of like how I was raised. We all loved scary movies. And I don't have a particular memory of exactly why I'm afraid of streetlights. Just kind of like more collected ideas. Maybe it has to do with like what I see in scary movies and how like every time something's gonna go crazy or something scary is gonna happen, you know how you typically see like the flashing light, like the flashing street light signifies that some creepy like spooky shit's about to happen. That kind of got in my head, but I remember a time where I was little and I was walking home with my mom and it was late, And I don't want to get into it. I might like have a story time for it eventually because who knows. But something bad happened after this event. I remember walking back to my house and seeing like flickery lights. I wasn't scared at the time, but I honestly think that that's where like that fear was developed, was from that one incident, because that was pretty like tough to deal with. But anyway, number 5, and this one is still fucking terrifying to me. I'm still scared, and that is mirrors. Not the movie. I am scared of the movie, but I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about actual mirrors. Guys, I am so scared of mirrors. And like honestly, this fear comes and it goes. But like I really have to remind myself of how scared I am of mirrors. And then like when I think about it, I don't want to look in a mirror. Like right now, I'm like reliving my fear of mirrors. And I know it's super irrational, but like it used to get to the point where I would like cover my mirrors up. Like if I had a mirror in my room, I would like throw a blanket over it or something. I would avoid mirrors in the bathroom. Yeah, mirrors and me are not friends, and I think that that's partly because I've had a paranormal experience with the mirror one time, and that plus just like irrational fears of like me looking in the mirror and my reflection isn't gonna make any move back just scared the hell out of me, and I want no part of it. So the 6th one is the dark, and I'm still afraid of the dark. And I put this one after mirrors because they kind of go hand in hand to me. So like if I'm like trapped, because in my mind I'm trapped when I'm in like a room where it absolutely has to be black, like pitch black at night. If I'm trapped in that room plus a mirror, I will probably have a like anxiety attack and I won't go to sleep. So like when I was a kid, I wasn't really afraid of the dark because I always like bunked beds with my brother, or we had night lights, or we would leave our door open and there'd be some kind of light like beaming in from like the hallway or whatever. But as I get older, that obviously, you know, wasn't a thing for me no more. I just don't do well in the dark. I have irrational fears that there's like some kind of creepy demonic little being staring at me and wanting to kill me, so no. 7th thing is sleeping positions, and this has been something that I have been terrified of all of my life. And you're probably like, what do you even mean by sleeping positions? I mean, I have a hard time falling asleep if I'm not sleeping a certain way. Like I can't have my back towards an empty space. So like if my bed is against a wall, if I need to sleep on my side, I'll sleep on my side to where my back hits the wall so I can see my front. But I will never turn the other way to where my back is in like the open part, because in my mind, I don't know, the boogeyman from Don't Look Under the Bed is gonna grab me and kill me. Okay, so number 8, it's actually a song, and it's Tiptoe Through the Tulips by Tiny Tim, and holy fuck. Ugh, I hate that song. I hate his face. I hate everything about it. And I remember like when, what was it, the Insidious movies? Probably. When the Insidious movies kind of like sampled that song in their movies, I remember that was like the big thing to scare everybody, and like my friend tried to scare me with it. Oddly enough, I wasn't scared that time, but that's because I have like prior experience with this song, and I absolutely hate it. And if like even I hear like Tiptoe, I literally get scared. I literally get scared and I won't sleep. But yeah, the first time I heard that song was when I was about 8. So yeah, no. Number 9 on the list is actually a movie, and it's like kind of a silly movie. I feel like most people will find it silly, but it's 1408, and it's based off of the Stephen King short story. And I don't even know why it scared me so much, but me and my friend saw it when we were like preteens, and even now I still get scared. I don't even know why, but yeah. And so the last thing on my list is the Candyman. If I'm being honest with you, I didn't even see the movie until I was about like 16 or 17. But as I was growing up, you know, like how kids like, you know, talk about Bloody Mary, they play the Bloody Mary game. Well, Candyman, I'm not gonna say it anymore because I already said it twice. He had his own game, and I remember like kids in my class were always trying to experiment with it, and that kind of stuff really just rubbed me the wrong way at the time. And I just remember being like tormented by like my cousins about it, and I just don't like it. I don't like the concept. Plus, I'm allergic to bees, and I hate bees, and every time I think about him, I associate him with a lot of bees from that like one part of the movie, and I just, nah. And that was it for my list. I hope you guys found this kind of funny. If you guys can relate, then let me know, because sometimes I feel like I'm a big wuss. even though I know I'm not, I do a lot of crazy shit. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know so I can make an adult version of this. Also, subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell to get notified when I upload. Also, follow me on social media. I have Instagram and Twitter. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.